fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Coffee with a Dog is live streaming now. My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
Good morning, everybody. We have a slight. Stephen, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. All right. So apparently the problem is Matt. That's okay. We love him anyway. Ron, what's going on, baby?
Good.
Steve,
Yeah, it sounds good now.
Yeah, yeah. It's Matt. It's obvious the problem is we need to get rid of Matt. That's it. Welcome to Black Coffee with his two dogs.
Guys, my computer.
Oops.
Is that any better? Do we hear me now? Check 1, 2. No, we still don't hear me. Test 1, 2. Okay. Looks like something's coming out. And it doesn't look like beeping. But I'm Doc. I'm the black guy. Steven, if you do that again, I will kick you out of your chair and just have fun beating the shit out of you in front of everybody. I'm going to even call Michael Savola over to watch me beat the shit out of you again. Don't ever do that again. I'm sorry, folks. Technical shit with this. What you didn't hear me was saying when you were just hearing beeping was that I'm sick of this friggin' system, this talk studio. I'm going to bite the bullet and just get another system happening before the time limit on the current contract with this runs out, because it's just a shitty system. So we're down with that. StreamYard's shitty. Talk Labs, Streamlabs, Talk Studio, also shitty. These are my reviews. Anyway, it's Tuesday, January 7th, 2025, in the year 2025, if man is still alive. We're going to have a show about climate change and holistic health. Like we haven't had that every day for the last almost all of 2025, right? It just keeps happening over and over again. Well, so that's what we got in store for you. The guys in the back you've already met, and you probably ran away. I wouldn't blame you. Listen, I see those three fucking ugly mugs. I'm going to puke. I'm going to shit. I'm going to get out of here like I do every morning. Anyway, they'll be back right after the news. So get your puking and shitting in now.
This is News in 60 with Alan Edwards.
Meta Platforms, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, is under mounting scrutiny for allegedly censoring pro-Palestinian and anti-Israeli content amid the ongoing war, drawing criticism from human rights organizations and media outlets such as the BBC. As the deadline for the arrest warrant against impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol passed, protesters and counter-protesters braved freezing temperatures and snow outside his residence. The new year brought a powerful winter storm to a significant portion of the United States, delivering heavy snow and dangerous ice that placed over 60 million people across 30 states under winter weather warnings.
Blizzard warnings remained in effect for more than 4 million people through Sunday night in parts of Kansas, Nebraska, and Missouri.
A child missing for 5 days was discovered alive this week in a sprawling game park in northern Zimbabwe, home to big cats and other wild animals, officials confirmed.
All right, get out of my face. I don't know. We could leave it like this, I guess. Or we could do something like that. No, you don't like being on top? I'm going to stay on top. You want to go on the bottom? Go on the bottom. I'm staying on top. I like being on top. I'm a top guy. Good morning, fellas. In the room with me right now are Ron Kane, who doesn't cause any trouble, Stephen Ortiz, who causes a lot of trouble, and GD, the source of all trouble. I understand.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Are you suffering from a short attention span? Well, here at Mind Dog.
What? What did he say? I can't remember what he said. All right. Yeah. Climate change and holistic living. You excited?
Oh, it'd probably be a different viewpoint. It'd probably be a holistic viewpoint.
Well, will the climate change affect the shittiness of the system? Probably.
Will climate change maybe just take me out of my fucking misery and just end this day altogether?
I hope so. I will call Michael Savola over to watch.
You know what? I'll let you both just come beat the fuck out of me.
No. This is about climate change, not about beating the fuck out of you. We will.
Okay.
But
are your children there, Stephen? All three of your kids?
No one's here. It's just me.
Looks
and my
like you're
dogs.
in like a motel.
No, this is my house.
Waiting for the hookers to come.
I am waiting for the hookers to come. No, my dogs broke my computer this morning in half. So I'm on my iPad currently.
We don't really care about that.
Wait a minute. Does that mean you won't be able to play your games, your addiction? Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, that's fine.
Oh, okay. Oh.
No, my actual laptop is in half.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not a console guy, a gaming console guy?
I am. I'm a console guy, but I have a laptop for the show and for other things, and now it's gone.
You can't do the show from a gaming console. I think you can, right? People have.
No, but I have the iPad, so that's what I'm using now. But this shit does not work well on the iPad. I couldn't hear the news or the intro. Nothing.
But if you do this, you'll get some balloons, right?
Yeah.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. There we go.
Who needs to hear the news when you can do this and get fireworks? I can't look at that. Nothing. I do this, I get nothing. Beautiful.
Wow, that's very cool.
Go ahead, Ron. You do that. You try it. Can you do that, Ron? Go ahead. See, Stephen, you're special.
That only happens on the iPad, right? Or no?
iPhone, iPad, yeah.
Yeah, it won't happen on the. Why can't I get that happening on the desktop? I want that happening on the desktop. Why can't I get that happening? So Opus Clips has also not been working.
What's that for hand job?
I would tell people
their hand job
to go to Opus Clips and sign up there because they are a sponsor. But I don't have the video loaded up, and it's letting me down. Remember a couple of days ago we had a health. She was a healthy Maha person, but she was a holistic person.
Right.
She said that if I don't wake up every day rock hard, there's something wrong with me.
I didn't get that from her. I thought she said that was normal for people who had like a working piece of junk. No.
Oh, all right. But Opus Clip didn't find that, and I'm very disappointed. Like that's like the highlight of 2024 is somebody telling me if you don't wake. No, I don't think somebody 65. It's normal to wake up every day, rock hard. If it's total normal, I mean, nursing homes would be like Rape City, right?
No,
they are
like
they are.
There's occasional rapes. It's not like Rape City.
It's
I've
not
been to
Rape City, but it's
Well,
gross old people sex all day long every day.
Just because you have an erection doesn't mean you go around raping people.
No, old people with dementia who have no filter left and yes, it does mean that.
But that's conditional, and that's not enough to
every
make
time they get an erection. I've been around these people. I'm around these people 3 times a week.
Yeah, but that's not that population is not benefit for a city. You're talking like a village, village.
Every time they get an erection, it's like everybody has to know about it. Everybody has to see it. It's like the Olympics or something.
Is this why you visit so often?
That's why I leave so much every day. I
save a bunch of money on hookers by volunteering at the old folks' home.
No, I generally get the other side of it. I get the old women throwing their Depends at me, and
get that diaper cream and get it on. Yeah.
Right. Anything in the news yesterday? I missed the whole day.
Trudeau said he's going to resign March 24th.
Why is he resigning? Because some people don't like him. Is that?
I don't see. Here's the deal. Usually, if somebody runs for office, they're narcissistic enough to think that they're the ones who can do the best job. Okay, so usually they don't want to give up power unless there's something underneath. Now, in Trudeau's case, he says it's to bring the temperature down, and maybe a new leader can bring, change the dialogue or something, and work can be done in the name of Canada and peace and stuff like that. So that could be a real reason.
I have an alternative.
I don't think that's the only reason.
I think he's going to the Giggle Room in Levittown, New York, at the governor's on the 24th, and he's just like, I know I'm not going to make it back, so that's his plan. No, sounds plausible. Not plausible, but plausible. If you know.
Well, we could play a promo for that show, but this system is so shitty. We could just talk about it.
If we had a promo.
3 seconds in, frame moves.
StreamYard was going. You know what? It was a lot easier. I was used to it. 6 years of doing it. It was just and now they ruined everything. They ruined my life. StreamYard.
Yeah, because look, StreamYard, when you played like news and stuff, it would mute it, but I could unmute it and he listened to it. On here, anything you played, I couldn't hear at all.
So if I play this now, we're not going to do show business, but I'm going to play this, and you tell me.
And now,
nope, nothing. Not for me.
Wow,
it was good for me.
It was good for you.
Did you see the news that Facebook is adding community notes?
Yeah, they're getting rid of fact checkers.
Yeah.
Now, who's doing the community notes? Because Patrick Bet-David, as I was talking about yesterday, he got nailed by community notes on X, and he kept saying it's like Wikipedia, but it's not like Wikipedia, right? It's not like just. Don't you have to be a community notes or have some kind of? It's not just like anybody can go in there and edit community notes, right? Like Wikipedia.
I don't think so.
No, I think it's left up to the people to decide.
How do you create a community note? I want to do one today on your stuff. I just want to say Ron Kane is a known sex maniac.
No, don't teach him that, because he's going to go over there and change mine to Matt's left testicle.
That's what I mean. If anybody can do anything as far as community notes, then it's pretty worthless, and everything will start having community notes on it. Like, I disagree with this fuck, so I'm just going to make up shit.
Yeah, according to the Zuck, we're replacing fact checkers with community notes, simplifying our policies, and focusing on reducing mistakes, he said on Tuesday. Looking forward to this next chapter. The changes will also be in place for Instagram and Threads. We'll lift restrictions on some topics that are part of the mainstream discourse, and will focus on the company's enforcement on illegal and high severity violations.
Wow. Now, you guys use Threads?
I'm sorry, dude. Some
So-
noise over top. What?
Do you
A little bit.
use Threads?
Occasionally, yeah.
It started out as a Twitter wannabe, and now it's become a Facebook wannabe. I mean, Instagram wannabe. But I'm seeing porn on it. So
What?
it's like
I
useless.
see a lot of
It's the algorithm. It gives you what you want to see.
Well, it doesn't, because I won't use it again. I just
I don't.
if I want porn, I can find it. I don't need Meta to shove it down my throat.
For me, I just use Threads because it cross posts to it. That's
Exactly.
about as
That's it.
Yeah.
I still post to it. I just don't look at it. But
Yeah.
The few times I have opened it up, it's like, what the fuck? This is not.
Have you tried Blue? Have you tried Blue Sky? That's the
I'm
one.
all over Blue Sky. I'm in the Blue Sky, and basically, I'm seeing exactly what I see on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's just everybody's just reposting there.
It's just okay.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah,
well, I'm following the same people, so that has a lot to do with it. But it's just I'm seeing a lot of the same people saying the same thing with less followers. So yeah, but Threads they can do away with tomorrow. It's like a redundancy. First, it wanted to be Twitter, which we already had. Then now it wants to be Instagram, which we already have. And so I don't know.
Well, I think everybody wants a. The consensus seems to be that a lot of people just want something different than Twitter, because especially since Twitter's turned into such a shithole.
Yeah, shitter.
It's a plotter.
For sure.
So Nancy Emmert, PhD, seems to be late.
Have you checked the room? Just because it didn't announce her doesn't mean she hasn't been sitting in the room for 10 minutes.
There's nothing below Ron Kane, and that's pretty much true of everything in the universe. There's nothing below Ron Kane. But
what about Vermin? Aren't Vermin below Ron Kane?
I think that's one notch above Ron Kane. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
Hey, at least I'm known.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, take the good with the bad, man.
All right. Well, so I don't know what we'll talk about. We were going to talk about her book, The Sound of Dirt, which is really what this the radio feed of this program is known as, The Sound of Dirt.
Well, if she doesn't show up, I do have some showbiz shit we can do.
Can you make it last an hour?
Sure. You play the clips real slow.
And if we don't shut the fuck up.
Did you guys get big snow yesterday? I got a dusting. I got like literally not even an inch.
We got about 3.5 inches, which is 2 more than my wife is used to, and it's fantastic. It's a winter wonderland.
See, I'm hearing everybody call it a blizzard, and this is my problem with this. Like, I've been through real blizzards.
Yeah,
blizzard. For sure. It was not a blizzard, but we got a few inches of snow.
Like,
and it's so fucking cold.
Even during the heaviest snow, there was like no visibility problems or anything. It was just a real steady flow of snow, is all it was.
What is people don't know what a blizzard is. That's
what I'm saying. I think the word has lost its meaning.
Like, because thanks to Wendy's, thanks to Dairy Queen, people don't know what a blizzard is.
It's been maybe 15 years for me that I've been able to go to bed and wake up to like 3 feet of snow. It hasn't happened in a really long time.
That even I would say more like here. I would say 30 years. Really?
Now the reason we have my oldest son is because of the blizzard of '96.
That's where my little brother came from as well. In fact, he was born in September, exactly 9 months after. It was like mid-January, right?
Oh,
my son was born in December.
There you go.
Has there been like a boom from COVID, or the COVID babies?
Oh, COVID babies are definitely a thing.
Well, how do you say that? Do you have data on that? Because I keep hearing. Here's the confusion for me. I keep hearing these anti-abortion people and talk about how the birth rate is dropping, and population numbers are falling off, and we need more babies. And then I look at the population statistics, and it's like an straight, not straight, but angular, like a 45.
When they say the population, they're not counting minorities. They're just looking at white babies.
Who says that? Because we're talking about, you got the abortion people, and then you have the statistics of the data, the census.
No, the anti-abortion people, the ones that are concerned about the population, they need more white babies. And matter of fact, Ron is our white correspondent, and he can probably confirm that. They want more white babies. But the population is growing because of the brown and off-white babies.
But I'm confused now. Aren't there a lot more people of color getting abortions? Isn't that what they want to stop?
No.
Oh. So I googled COVID babies, and it looks like there was a weird thing that happened during COVID where red states had a baby boom, but blue states had a baby bust, where blue states had less conceptions during the COVID times. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And a lot of people got divorced during COVID. It forced a lot of people apart, actually. Then
it forced them together, which forced them apart.
Oh, dude, it cost me a relationship, and man, I'm glad it did. But let me tell you, that was a pressure cooker.
Then add on the political shit around it and how fucking nuts people got. And I'm sure there were couples where where the husband was drinking bleach and the wife has said, I married this guy and we have kids.
Yeah, the husband's drinking bleach and the wife is using the flashlight.
I was dating a chick who ended up being a fucking whore.
You guys might be entertained by Luke Beasley. Luke Beasley has several different shows, but he's a young man, doesn't like being called a kid, but he's got like kid energy. He's probably in his early 20s. Very smart, very articulate. Been on Piers Morgan many times and kind of buries Piers. But he has a show where he does with MAGA couple. MAGA couple is a young couple. The wife is hot looking, and she's the one that he debates all the time, and the husband is kind of in the back trying to pull her strings every time he starts to convince her of some left-wing ideas. The husband steps in and puts a stop to that. But so the husband was arguing with Luke about how women shouldn't vote, and she was kind of, you could see she was like, well, what am I even doing here? Why is my opinion, I don't qualify to vote in your mind. My opinions mean nothing. Why am I the one doing the arguing here? And you could see she was getting swayed. It looked like they were having a divorce in the middle of an online debate, debate.
Last night, me and my wife were watching Squid Game 2, the second season, and there is a trans character in there. And so it's a
is that his name, or is that what he is?
That's what he is. And he's he's transitioning to a woman. And my wife, when we're watching this, just out of the blue says, why would you want to transition to be a woman? We're the lesser sex. You need to be a man, so at least you have at least some fighting chance.
You got her trained well, man. That's a good job, man.
I wrote a song back in the 80s.
It surprised the hell out of me. It's like, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a woman. Guess. She would know. So.
Yeah. But no, it's really compelling to watch this debate cause a divorce among this young couple, because they are very hardcore.
It sounds to me like Luke wanted her to begin with, and that's why he's like trying to break up that marriage. It sounds like he's like, that's the one I want. I will break up that marriage.
I don't know. Maybe that's possible. He goes to Trump rally. He used to go to Trump rallies when there were Trump rallies, and there'll be Trump rallies again. But he would go there and get himself beat up, pretty much. I mean, and attacked. You go there with the microphone and debate these guys, and just give him. He's very calm, unemotional, and he's not a name caller or any of this kind of stuff. He's a perfect guy for a debate if you're listening from somebody who really has their ducks in a row, knows this shit, and is just calmly debating with facts. He's really good at that. And so he doesn't seem like he's one of these guys who doesn't like screaming matches and all that stuff and shies away from that. So I don't think he's not doing it with let's break them up so I could fuck this bitch. That would be me.
No. See, you got it down to no. You made it much dirtier than I was thinking.
Well, what other reason why do you want to break them up?
So he can make love to the woman.
Oh.
Gay.
That's so fucking gay. Looks like
we're men. We fuck.
Can we do B on this? Is there a B on this?
It doesn't matter. I'm not chopping anything up anyway. You can chop it up. Oh no, there is no. They don't leave markers on this shitty system. Looks like we have a no-show, and this is a weird thing because she reached out to me. This was one of the few people who didn't go through a publisher. She's a book author. She found me on LinkedIn, and she said, "I really enjoy your work." It's like, this is a lie. Nobody really enjoys what we do here. And she pitched her way onto the show, and now she's not here.
Well, with all the snow she had, she probably can't hear her dirt. The snow is muffling the sound of the dirt.
There are several other books called The Sound of Dirt.
Digging the snow so that she can hear the dirt.
This is a surprising fact that there are more than one book titled The Sound of Dirt. It's a popular book title.
I would think so because, first of all, I would think that dirt would be gossip, in The Sound of Gossip. That was the first thing when I saw Sound of Dirt, I'm like, okay, gossip, dirty laundry.
I thought you're old enough to remember. Stephen would be like, what the fuck are these old men talking about? There used to be a commercial for gasoline. I think it was Mobil, and the guy was hitchhiking, and his name was Dirt. It was about clean gas. I don't know what it was, but it was just Dirt. Dirt was the hitchhiker, and it was like those creepy commercials, gasoline commercials back in the day.
I don't even remember that one, and I remember Esso when Esso was a gas station, and Sinclair, and I don't remember
the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna. You want to do showbiz? While you do showbiz, I will see if I can find Dirt. Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah, we're done.
And now, bringing you the latest in entertainment news from
Dirt.
Hollywood, New York, and East Bumfuck, Montana. Here's our chief entertainment correspondent, Ron Kane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Showbiz.
Morning, everybody. It's Showbiz on Titty Tuesday. So make sure to get yourself some titties today and have some fun. And of course, this is always sponsored by Minucci's. So make sure you stop by Minucci's this week for the 50-cent hamburger. Is it meat? I don't know. Find out and we'll see.
And does Minucci deliver? Are they part of the DoorDash system?
Nope. So this is Audrey Plaza. Her husband killed himself a few days ago. So I'm not sure.
That's why she was trending. Wow.
Yeah. She was at a basketball game, and he was found dead by an assistant of a parent's suicide.
This team lost.
Wait, hold on. She killed him. Like, she's crazy.
No, she's not crazy. That's just the way people portray her because of her eyes and facial expressions and some of her quirkiness.
So they're not saying how he killed himself at this point, but that'll be
why. Because this is more important is why than how.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. She did actually come out and make a statement about it, and she's not really saying much, which is to be expected. So
from now on, she's going to be that one. She's going to be known as that one whose husband killed himself. That's her new title in life. The one whose husband.
I'm going to still know her as the crazy woman in the unstable woman in Legion.
Well, she's also like a kind of a dark character in
Criminal Minds.
Was it Criminal Minds? She was also in that comedy cop show too. I can't remember what the name of it is. Off the top
No,
of my
she
head.
was on she was on Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. Yeah.
Is she also in all? What's her name? All. Damn it, the witch from
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's it.
The witch
No,
from
she
Marvel.
wasn't in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She was also in Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
she's been in a lot of movies. She's got a pretty good.
Is she in all Agatha? Agatha All Along?
Yes, I believe
I
she
haven't
has
seen that yet.
She has a small role in that as well.
Nice. Poor lady.
So,
that sucks.
Speaking of death, the Shrek donkey Perry has died at the age of 30. Perry was the model for the animation Shrek donkey. So they paid this donkey's owner like $600 a day so artists could come out and draw him.
Wow.
That's pretty dope. I mean, that's sad, but that's cool.
It's an oddball story, but I guess that's pretty old for a donkey. I don't know how old donkeys usually get, but 30 seems pretty old.
Yeah, we went donkey shopping once for pet donkeys.
Donkeys?
Donkeys. Now this is a big thing. Carl gets very upset of my pronunciation.
I'm getting upset with it too. It's bothering me.
No, it is donkey.
Donkey.
Even though it looks like donkey, most people pronounce it donkey. The proper pronunciation is donkey. I got this from donkey breeders.
This definitely seems like a guy that starts a conversation like this, and the next thing you know, he's asking you, "Can you take off your
how do you
shirt
pronounce
now?"
that? Done. It's a donkey.
In the hood, we say donkey, but and we raise our pinky. Donkey, and we raise our pinky with it.
Donkey and a monkey.
So yesterday was the Netflix premiere of WWE Raw. Steven, did you check it out?
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
And what are your thoughts?
They made it a spectacle. They made it a thing. It was pretty cool. They kind of launched a whole new era, I guess. But it was cool. They had a lot less restrictions on it. So for example, you had Travis Scott smoking a joint like live on the air with that guy, and then you also had The Rock drinking and driving, which was an odd choice. But it was.
Does that mean he's no longer be making any kind of Disney movies?
Well, the dude literally had a bottle of his tequila, took a big swig of it, then jumped in his truck and drove off. So
well, it's not illegal to drink and drive.
No,
you can't have an open container in the car.
The fact is that they just portrayed what they portrayed on the air was just different than what they would do when it was on regular TV. They didn't censor the audience when they were screaming "fuck you," you know, like it was a different thing, but reminiscent of the old thing. So it was a fun time.
How would you censor the audience? Like, cause you'd have to cut off all the audio, right? I mean, because you'd
WWE is really, really sneaky with their editing techniques. Because when they were on TV, I think they had like a 12-second delay, so they would literally filter in a track of what they wanted the crowd to sound like if they didn't make the right sounds.
Wow.
But this apparently had very little to no delay, or they just didn't censor it and don't care now.
All right, I have to introduce a little bit of political talk about this, because isn't MAGA's down with the W. Trump was a big wrestling fan, part of that whole wrestling world, right?
And he was down with the wrestling theatrics.
He was briefly part of it, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the MAGA people are down with it. I mean, Hulk Hogan was a spokesman at the convention.
No, okay, we got to talk about this.
Well, wait, no, let's. You can talk about the Hulk Hogan thing, but the point I'm making is the MAGA people are down with wrestling as a major form of entertainment. Yes.
Yeah.
Overall, they used to be, yes.
because you said they were out there smoking joints, and now this is a bad influence on young people who are primarily, a big part of the demographic here is young people. There's no kickback from MAGA saying this is inappropriate for our children to see.
Well,
they're role models. They're role models.
I guess you got to kind of think about where it came from, like wrestling, because WWE in the 90s, while yes, children were present, it was very common for there to be, almost nudity and the audience sprayed with beer and, and shit like that. So that was kind of a normal thing. So I guess adding weed on top of it's just kind of a normal thing. But it's not as much of a MAGA crowd as you would expect anymore. Like, for example, Hulk Hogan got booed out of the building.
I know that. We'll get to that. You are just chomping at the bit to talk about Hulk.
I thought it was hilarious. Personally.
All right, we'll come back to it, but
no, the crowd, because the crowd is, especially now that they're more of an international product. It's they're not necessarily pandering as political as they used to be.
All right, I'm just curious. Nobody is starting anything about how, because the prudish. The fake prudish, the people of morals and principles who actually have none, who fuck little girls and do cocaine with little girls and whatever they do, but they're preaching about this, about morality all the time. Nothing yet, because that smoking a joint live on the show is not for kids. It's definitely something that they would, if you're going to be on a moral pedestal and
Well, that's true. If you're going to smoke weed on television, it should be simulcast for the children.
Right. Well, it was. I mean, you had Snoop Dogg smoking a joint at the halftime show, right? I mean, they've really kind of normalized it. I mean, now smoking a joint on TV is no different than having a glass of wine or
And they're also they were in Los Angeles last night as well.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's legal.
All right, Steven, tell us about the big boo. The big boo with the Hulk. What?
The big boo, man. So I don't think I've ever seen it this bad for Hulk Hogan, but from the second his music hit till the time he shut the fuck up and walked away, just the audience did not give him a chance. It was one of the loudest boos I've ever heard on a televised event. Like,
is it because of the politics stuff? Is that the reason?
I think it's because he's a known racist. He's a womanizer. He's gross, and he's extremely he's pretty far right leaning. He's a very white Christian male, and he's just everything that used to be. He was everything he's gross. And
he does not come off well in that Vince documentary either.
Yeah, and then the documentaries and every superstar that you talk to that has stories about being a delinquent and being a sexual deviant, Hulk Hogan's always involved, right? Like, so he's just no longer warmly welcome or accepted anymore. He's just a foregone thing of the past. He's a dinosaur. Nobody
they
wants
love him
him
in MAGA country, though. I mean, they definitely he was like that guy in Idiocracy. The
kind of, yeah. And he was trying to advertise his beer brand and thank the WWE universe, and just fucking nobody cared. And that's why I felt like when you said like the MAGA crowd, it was like if they're still into WWE, they were not in Los Angeles last night for sure.
Now, the Gawker thing. Do you recall the Gawker thing?
Oh, yeah.
There's some kind of what Peter Thiel was involved in ruining Gawker because Gawker. I sound like a New Yorker. Because of some sexual deviant stuff with Hulk. Is that like a videotape or something?
Yeah. So
what's the story there?
So I guess Hulk Hogan was generally known for
blowing guys.
Hooking up with people's wives, and the dude's wife or the chick's husband, I guess, recorded it, and
but the chick's husband was known DJ Bubba the Love Sponge.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's why it caused a big stink. And because Bubba talked about it. Then the tape got released, and things just went downhill from there.
Why did Peter Thiel need to get involved?
Color commentary.
Huh?
Well, he likes large men. That's why. I mean,
he put his money behind this whole lawsuit of getting Gawker.
Yeah, it's probably something
out of
business related, but too, I think it's because he had an attraction to Hulk Hogan. But that's my theory.
That's what, because I thought there was like a gay. This is where I'm like a gay linkage to Hulk Hogan and Peter Thiel. Like, I thought.
Well, it's known that Hulk Hogan was definitely involved in orgies and in threesomes, so it's very possible that there could have been some sexual encounters for sure.
All right, so we'll just make it the official platform, or position of the Coffee with the Dog program that Hulk Hogan fucked Peter Thiel in his ass, and that's why Peter Thiel always looks like he's.
Let me tell you something,
sweaty and
brother.
beat up.
I was balls deep in Peter Thiel's ass, man. Let me tell you what.
And then he ripped off his shirt, and yeah.
You heard it here first.
All right, so on Sunday night, Nikki Glazer hosted the Golden Globes, and Nikki knocked it out of the park. Her monologue was funny. She did a pretty good balance of being mean to him, but not too mean. She walked a really good line, and her monologue is excellent. So Nikki, in the past year, has had the roast, and now the Golden Globe. So it's good to see a comic do well like that, and she's killing it right now.
Yeah,
she's awesome, man.
A lot of come up on her way up the ladder.
Oh my god,
she did. She admits it.
So instead of Nikki Glacier, it's Nikki Glazed. Anyways, back to you.
Nikki Glazed.
So this is Demi Moore. She has won the Best Actress for the movie The Substance. I'm probably going to check this movie out today or tomorrow. This movie is getting a decent amount of buzz. And the other thing that makes this intriguing is that it's actually a horror movie, and it's doing well on the award circuit. And I've heard the movie is pretty fucked up, but it's supposed to be good. So I'm looking forward to checking it out.
She's
I'm
my
not
age,
sure,
right? She's old now.
Yeah, she's in her 50s, mid to late 50s.
Nah, I think older than that.
I don't think she's. No, I think she's. I think
She's like 58 or something like that.
Yeah.
Let me look here. She is. It doesn't say here, of course.
So that hair, that's where I'm getting at. That hair's not. That's colored. That's like my.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, she'd be like a gray-haired old lady, which would be perfect for a horror movie.
Speaking of the Golden Globes, this is Ali Wong. She won Best Stand-Up Performance for her Netflix 1 hour special.
They make the Golden Globes look like my cock.
What, just a round ball?
Yeah, a big hard round ball in the end of a long golden,
like a bowling ball, and it's got 3 holes in it.
Yes, exactly. In case I want to, I don't know, knock over a few pins.
Spritzing. We're spritzing.
Yeah. So congrats to Ali for winning that. This was funny. So Vin Diesel definitely has gained some weight. I mean, I just wanted to drop it in there.
Oh yeah.
He's definitely looking a little like I've been on the couch for a while. But
yeah,
anyway,
you fat fuck. Sorry.
Yeah,
fat and furious.
It is known that him and The Rock do not get along. And when Vin Diesel came up on stage, he looked right at him and said, "Hi, Rock," and just.
Why do they not get along?
Because their egos don't fit in the same fucking studio, and they would just butt heads constantly. Fucking.
So it's
but
not
here's the thing, though.
Rock
Vin Diesel
pulled out and jizzed all over his face.
Vin Diesel has a complex. He has to be the biggest dude because he also didn't get along with Jason Momoa. He doesn't get along with anybody that's on there except for like Jason Statham.
Now there were gay rumors around about him for many years, right?
Yeah, I started those.
Those rumors I do remember hearing about, but yeah.
I wish someone, when these two were together, someone like a producer should have just walked in the room and said, "Hey, you're both fucking morons. Shut the fuck up. Can you believe someone's paying you all this money for the dumbest shit you do? Now shut your fucking mouths and get out there and pretend you like each other."
Yeah.
I mean, the formula is pretty simple. I don't know why people don't just
go out and make your fucking get rich, live your privileged life, and shut the fuck up. And then
someone should walk up to The Rock and say, "What the fuck are you complaining about? I mean, you have a career, and most of your movies are shit. Be happy."
Yeah, you get to go out, basically play the same character in every fucking movie, get $1 billion for it. Go fuck yourself.
There was only one movie I remember that I actually watched, knowing he would be in it. It was him and Marky Mark, right? It's like a buddy outlaw movie or something. Forget what it was.
Marky Mark.
It wasn't memorable. But I can't imagine why. I mean, I could see him being a wrestling star or whatever. I don't understand the appeal of him in movies. It's just
he was on Raw last night.
He was in Hercules, right? He was in Hercules, like some gods of Egypt or something.
He was the Scorpion King.
That's the Scorpion King.
His father was a big time wrestler, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Rocky Johnson.
Yeah. But I mean, even Vin Diesel, someone should tell him, it's like, bro, someone let you make 10 movies and be in them. 10 terrible movies.
Oh, that's not even counting. Well, he did also Riddick and Pitch Black and
that doesn't even count. That I'm just talking like Fast
right.
and Furious.
Count as a movie. Wow. You're just talking about the Fat and Furious movies.
Yep. Yeah. So this is just an overall of like some of the awards given at the Golden Globes. So Colin Farrell won for The Penguin. I brought this on here because you said you watched Baby Reindeer, Matt, and so Jessica Gunning won Best Performance. Then and Baby Reindeer also made Best Limited TV Series.
Oh, that was brutal. Brutal.
I'm glad.
Movie.
I'm really glad Jeremy Allen White won something for The Bear because man, he's so good in that.
Yeah, no rush. And to this called me Best Original Score done by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross for Challengers. So it's neat seeing Trent Reznor on that list.
Wow.
All right, this is Melania Trump, and there is a documentary coming to Amazon about her. And it's supposed to be very revealing. But the real reveal with this is that Brett Ratner is the director of this documentary. If you don't know who Brett Ratner is, he made some X-Men movies back in the day. He was also accused of like sexual harassment and doing all sorts of creepy things. So it's on brand for the for the Trump people. But the other piece of this as well is that the reason that this is being done is because Jeff Bezos has put money behind this because he donated $1 million to Trump's inauguration fund, and then he donated another $1 million somewhere else, I think, for this. So you can see that he's definitely trying to work it, probably trying to get on those back end deals like Muskie.
Don't be saying back end deals on this show here.
Unless you're a donkey.
I'm confused. Because I'm usually confused. I mean, so that I don't even need a because. But they were talking about Jeff Bezos, Washington Post, all being very left wing, and then all of a sudden, like spun on a dime to become MAGA. Do I have that correct? I mean,
yeah, he's been pumping money towards Trump, and there's I think he's been showing up for meetings. And
it's hard enough to understand how somebody goes from being one extreme to the other over years, but overnight, it's really like.
That's because there's no such thing as permanent friends and permanent enemies, only permanent interest. That's it.
Yes, and there are rumors. The reason that Bezos is getting involved with Trump so eagerly is because of that talk of the privatization of the Postal Service. And there's a lot of people think that Bezos is trying to horn in on that action, of course.
Now it all makes sense.
Yes. Yep. It all makes sense now, doesn't it? Why wouldn't one of the biggest distribution networks in the world want the postal business?
And this is the thing with Trump. He is manipulative, be able to be manipulatable. Is that the word? I think Bezos is going to play him like a fiddle. I mean, he's basically going to suck up to him, flatter him, throw some money his way, and get what he wants, and then, fuck you. I got what I want. No more blowjobs for you, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, think how much he loves it, because he's got these two billionaires. They're definitely, definitely more rich than he is, and they're fawning all over him for government contracts and all sorts. So he's probably fucking hard every day because of this.
So he's with or whatever that lady was. I can't remember. Who said you need to wake up hard every day?
He may actually wind up being a real billionaire by the time this is all over with.
Oh yeah, but his family will, for sure.
Could I just wish him a stroke?
Sure.
All right, I wish him a stroke.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
The problem is, though, if his care would be on our dime, we'd be paying for his health care.
And do you really want to listen to that weasel Vance sit there and pretend that he cares about that man? That'd be terrible. It's like, we know you don't care. Just go unplug him, man. You know you want to do it.
I think the best thing would be for the four top Republicans. That would be, well, five. Elon, that would be Musk, Vance, Trump, Thune, and Mike Johnson, all be in the same room and contract some deadly virus. Something that RFK Jr. will not, protect them from, and let them just slowly die off.
Well, let me just say that when we have Mel Brooks' photo on the screen, that we should just be quiet for a moment and let Ron explain why we were looking at the god of comedy.
Yeah, so this is Josh Gad and Mel Brooks. This story was making the rounds because Josh Gad, he's working on Spaceballs too, and he was talking about his pitch that he had to give to 98-year-old Mel Brooks, which had to include giving him backstory on the new Star Wars movies and all sorts of shit. So apparently this project is still happening. I wish it wasn't. It's like, just fucking let it go, come up with something new, but here we are.
So Mel's not really involved in Spaceballs too. This fat guy is.
Mel is involved, but the more day-to-day is the guy on the left, Josh Gad.
Yeah, because Mel is like 103, right?
Yeah, Mel is 98 years old.
Same thing.
So
good for him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that's happening. And this dropped yesterday. The teaser trailer for Last of Us Season 2 is going to be out on April on Max. So if you watch the first season, this is another show that's based off of a video game, if you do not know. The first season was all right, and a lot of people were excited because they're like, this is the best video game adaptation show ever. At the time it was, but I mean, it was okay. Fallout is actually a lot better. I think Fallout.
Boomers like me just to accept the fact that video game adaptation is a thing. God, who would ever saw that coming? God, because we grew up with Mario Brothers. I mean, is there a Mario? There is a Mario Brothers movie.
There's a couple.
Several.
Yeah.
There's several.
Yeah.
It's fucking silly. Is there a Space Invaders movie? No, that's the game.
They did do a movie called
Earth.
They did do a movie called Pixels with Adam Sandler that
Yep.
did have Space Invaders, Pac-Man, all sorts of characters in it. So yeah.
And I think Wreck-It Ralph also had like homages to some of those games as well, didn't he?
Wow.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, all video game movies were horrible. Now there is at least some decent ones. There's still plenty of horrible video game movies, but like the shows have definitely been better. Like this show has been pretty good. Then the Fallout series, that was fantastic. It was amazing. They actually got Fallout to work. So
they should
there is
really
some hope,
revisit
but
some of those original, really bad video games that you would see like in 7-Eleven. Like I forget the one, but there were like dinosaurs that were jumping from cliff to cliff. I forget the names of some of these, but They were really stupidly.
Joust. I think Joust would be a great video game.
That's the one I'm talking about, Joust.
Okay, but that was fun.
What surprises me more than anything is that we've never gotten a GTA movie. I would have thought by now somebody would have tried to produce a GTA movie.
I just took it for granted that there were. I thought like there were several of them out already. That's really weird.
No, but I think if GTA 6 is a success, they will probably do something like that or a series.
I bet you if you go on Pornhub, you could find a GTA movie.
I'm sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as far as we know, there could be a GTA series in the works. And like Steven said, with this new game, it could be something where like, oh, look, we have this game and now we have a series that ties into this story into the game. So that is a very real possibility.
This next game is supposed to be what they call a long-term evolution game. This last game lasted 10 years. They're expecting this to go double that. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But, I mean, I am expecting to see a bunch out of them.
Remember when Death Race 2000 was the ultimate violent racing game? So you guys don't remember Death Race 2000?
I know the movie, but I don't think there was ever a game.
I thought it was a game.
No. Well, there are games like it. There was a game back in the day called Carmageddon, which you drove around a car, and that's all you were supposed to do is destroy.
Yeah.
The way you could advance in a level was destroy all the other players that you're playing against, or kill every person on that level, and you just drive over them and shit like that.
Wow.
It was a fun game. Fun game. Enjoyed by all. So enjoy the suffering, everybody. This is from yesterday.
That's my suppository.
Yep. Suppository for your ears. So enjoy the suffering.
Hearing hate up your ass.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that was.
I have breaking news, everybody. You can get the best viewers on. Never mind. This is not breaking news. This is a pitch for bots. If you like bots, to follow you.
Bots and me ass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a video game called Death Race, and it was I think based on the movie Death Race 2000.
Okay. Yeah,
I think the movie Death Race 2000 came out first.
Yeah, or why hasn't Leisure Suit Larry had a movie?
Dude,
well,
I would watch that so quick.
What's Leisure Suit Larry? This
Every
is Mr.
car
Dirt, by the
engine
way.
has an enemy. Dirt. I'm about to make a phone call.
Oh, I can remember that commercial now.
Mike's Garage. Would you mind stepping back a little, please? Stepping back a little? Thank you! Dirt has an enemy. Mobile detergent gasoline. Mobile hates dirt.
Yeah,
I remember that now.
Mr. Dirt, and there were tons of those commercials. Like that guy was a recurring thing. It was part of, I don't know, part of the culture of the time. Mr. Dirt. Just to give you a demonstration of the idiocy that we had to put up with. No wonder we're fucked up. My generation is fucked up, and that's part of the reason why.
Yeah, I can see that.
we got to see people die on TV. I mean, like shoot themselves and things like that.
Oh, yeah,
when you weren't expecting it. It's different clicking on a video like, all right, I know what I'm getting here. But when you're just watching TV and all of a sudden someone pulls out a revolver and sticks it in their mouth. I mean, that is compelling television.
Well, you got to remember, you guys had that, but I was during the era when like the internet didn't tell you what you were getting except for like some like really shitty description before you clicked on it. You know, like rotten.com. You know, where they would sneak in like, you know, a suicide video or, you know, police body cam footage, you know, or terrorist.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There was an entire franchise of movies, Faces of Death. You know, and matter of fact, they ran out of ways of showing people dying on video. I mean,
most of that was fake too. Like with Faces of Death, they faked a lot of that. Like some of it was real footage. But then, like, other things were staged in that.
Okay, I thought the first season was real, and then after that, they were just—that's what saying they were just ran out of footage.
Yeah, because they were up to like I don't know. I think they made 3 or 4 of those movies.
Yeah, I stopped watching after 2 because at 2 I said, okay, no, they've run out of material.
Huh.
Yeah, where I've seen like movies like that, and they just have like a death metal soundtrack behind them. It's like, this is horrible. At least get some better music.
Yeah, when did country music become the theme music for football?
It's Monday Night Football. Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah.
Are you ready for some football?
That's been forever.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Why? I mean, it's like it just.
Oh, because of God. Because God loves to play football.
Being from the north, you might not, but football is like they used to say baseball, hot dogs, apple pie. Football is the southern states. Friday Night Lights.
It's like a religion.
High school football, college football, anything to do with football. America,
It's like a religion down there, man. It's crazy. Yeah. I remember in high school in Alabama, like normally the football players would get special treatment in high school anyway, but in Alabama, they got so much special treatment. They weren't expected to do anything in class because everything had to go to that game on Friday.
Florida,
too. You have a test? Don't worry. You know what? Here's a B. Go take a nap. Prepare for practice. You're fine. All the time, dude. It was weird.
When I went to high school in Florida, the football players really didn't have to pass, didn't have to do any homework, didn't have to know the subject at all. They were automatically passed because they were on the football team. The way to get through high school was to get on the football team.
Yep. Or a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Get
on the football team. The cheerleaders would get on the football team. That's what I mean.
Well, in the place that I live, probably like 15 years ago, somewhere around there, 15 years ago, is when they first started having football in the district. Like, we didn't even have high school football yet. And so, like, mom and pop were, Pop Warner football started. And then probably like 2 years later, then when they finally had football at high school and like junior high. And in the beginning, all the teams were all white players, but then they started recruiting other students and shit around the area, and now the team is pretty diverse.
Wow.
Shane Gillis does a thing about Bear Bryant. In his sketch about how Alabama. He does a bit about Alabama football documentary about Bear Bryant and how he integrated Alabama's football team in 1971.
Is that just curious here? Is that, and when I say curious, I don't mean bi-curious. Is that where the bear part of the gay culture started with Bear Bryant? Is he the original bear in Bear?
No, it started with Yogi. Yogi was the original bear.
Hey,
him and Boo Boo. Hey, Boo Boo.
Wow.
Can I play with your picnic basket, Boo Boo?
Yogi was fucking Boo Boo?
No,
probably.
I think Boo Boo went out and scouted things for Yogi to get into.
You ruined my childhood. Now, so who was doing Huckleberry Hound?
That was Baba Louie.
The greatest show in town. All right. I'm going to play some news. I think we're going to have a double no-show today. What do you think? What are the odds? What do you think? We're taking bets now.
Yeah, it looks like we're doing showbiz again.
Right. News.
The new year brought a powerful winter storm to a significant portion of the United States, delivering heavy snow and dangerous ice that placed over 60 million people across 30 states under winter weather warnings.
Blizzard warnings remained in effect for more than 4 million people through Sunday night in parts of Kansas, Nebraska, and Missouri, according to the National Weather Service's online map. Travel became hazardous in several heartland states, including Kansas, Kentucky, and Indiana. Lawrence Keller reporting.
As the deadline for the arrest warrant against impeached South Korean Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol passed, protesters and counter-protesters braved freezing temperatures and snow outside his residence.
The protest coincided with a Seoul court's dismissal of an injunction filed by Yoon seeking to invalidate warrants for his detention and a search of his home. South Korea remains in political turmoil after Yoon declared martial law in early December, accusing the opposition of attempting to overthrow democracy. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
Meta Platforms, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, is under mounting scrutiny for allegedly censoring pro-Palestinian and anti-Israeli content amid the ongoing war, drawing criticism from human rights organizations and media outlets such as the BBC.
The company has faced several allegations over the past month, including claims in a Human Rights Watch report about content suppression, a BBC investigation accusing Facebook of limiting Palestinian news outlets' reach, and testimonies collected by the human rights group Seven Amle, alleging shadow banning of Palestinian pages. Benjamin Wright reporting.
This is the latest news
Get on with it, Al.
A soccer-loving nun from Brazil has reportedly become the world's oldest living person at nearly 117 years old following the death of a Japanese woman who previously held the title.
Sister Ina Canabaro, who was frail as a child and not expected to survive, has now been recognized by LongeviQuest, an organization tracking supercentenarians. In a statement released Saturday, the group confirmed her status, based on early life records, as the world's oldest living person. Jessica Oakley reporting.
New York City introduced a new toll for drivers entering the heart of Manhattan, requiring many to pay $9 during peak hours to access the city's busiest area.
Known as congestion pricing, the initiative aims to alleviate traffic gridlock in the densely populated city while generating funds to improve its struggling public transit system. We've studied this issue for 5 years, but 5 minutes in Midtown Manhattan shows New York has a real traffic problem, said the Metropolitan Transportation Authority Chair. Kevin Sanders reporting.
A child missing for 5 days was discovered alive this week in a sprawling game park in northern Zimbabwe, home to big cats and other wild animals, officials confirmed.
The 7-year-old boy was reported missing from his rural village on December 27th, according to a statement from the Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority known as ZimParks. The agency noted that a coordinated search effort involving park rangers, police, and the local community led to his rescue. Kyle Norris reported.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
I bet you that kid's name was Mowgli. Hey! They didn't mention anything about Mowgli or Bagheera or anybody else. How'd that kid survive if it wasn't for Bagheera protecting him? I'm sorry.
In the case of that Emirate Gavassi, who was found on a boat last week by her father, there was an arrest made yesterday, but they didn't say who was arrested on this in that case.
Well, obviously it wasn't you.
And I would just say you have to pass the Cavassier.
You can't say obviously it wasn't me. I could have been bailed out.
No, who would bail you out?
I have bail people. I resent
Stop
that.
it! You're killing me, man. Stop it! You're killing me.
Why would you think I don't have bail people? Of course I have bail people. I have people who are just designated bailers. Can I share? I want to share a picture for no reason at all. I just want to share a picture. Can I share a picture? Am I allowed to share a picture?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
but not the one you sent us in the chat room.
No, this one.
Oh my God.
That's I don't know. I just like it. It's just Nazis, something penis me. It's a senile test, which we'll all be subject to. You looking forward to President Trump? Are you looking forward to the same President Trump?
No,
I'm
not.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
It's going to cause havoc in my house.
Do you not want to? Whoa! What happened there? Do you not want to say? Do you not want America to be great again? Is that your problem?
Not at the expense of my house going to shambles, because every day I'm going to have to talk my wife back down off of a ledge, because just the thought of him being in power is just driving her fucking crazy.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of getting tired of people's gall to be blatantly racist as they've been lately towards my wife and kids. So I'm already tired of it.
See,
I'm also tired of the countdown to. I just want it over with. Right. So yeah, I want January 20th to be here so I can stop. I can't even really watch the news because there's just nothing but pundits trying to predict what he's going to do. And it's like, fuck predicting what he's going to do. We know that he's up to no good, and we know that he only wants to enrich himself, and he doesn't even care if he enriches his friends, as long as he gets enriched first.
I'm trying to think. It's like having these contradictory arguments with myself. 4 years goes really fast, but then day by day, it doesn't really go fast. But
right,
I just
And in our case, or at least in my case, I'm taking it like 2 years at a time. It's like, okay, when's the next congressional election? It's in 2 years. Maybe we can flip the House and get the Senate back in 2 years. Maybe.
Should I try to run again? I shouldn't, right? It's just a waste of time. Try to run for I don't know. In my district, we got this Nick LaLota guy who is totally MAGA guy. He's just like, he's a stuffed suit. But he's very popular in this area because we're full of MAGA people. So with the next midterms that are coming up in 2 years, you really think there's going to be a flip again?
As a general rule of thumb, okay, and I hate to be a prognosticator, especially since I've been bad
Well,
at it.
come back
But
to rule of thumb. I'm not sure rule of thumb is the right word to use here, but because that's about beating your wife with a stick that's no bigger than.
Well, I says the general rule of thumb. I mean, I know what the literal rule of thumb is, but that's why I cast the word general in front of it, and we've adopted it from its original meaning to
to not beating your wife, but to beating Donald Trump.
So, but as a general rule of thumb in politics, the incumbent party after 2 years will flip. They lose seats. Even if it doesn't flip, they lose seats. Now, in this case, since the Republicans in the House only have like a 2-seat majority, if they lose seats, they lose the House. That's it. They lose seats. And generally, even if they only lost 5 seats, they'd lose seats.
And essentially they only have a year to really do anything.
I've never in my life even come close to calling myself a Democrat, but I would really love to see Jeffries get the gavel. And
yeah. I like his. To be honest, whenever he speaks, if you look at his eyes always look like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah.
No matter what he says, no matter what he's talking about, if you look at his eyes, it looks like he's about to tell you to fuck off.
Well, and let's be honest here. I mean, I'm going to be honest, which could get me disbarred, have a Secret Service show up here or whatever. Having Jeffries as the third in line is great incentive to fucking assassinate those 2 fucking bastards. That's the way I look at it. Like, hey, yeah.
Also, the Congress that just got sworn in is the 3rd oldest Congress in history.
God damn it.
They're all fucking old again. They're still all these people complaining about old fucks. And
well, there's some hope in that some of them will die in office.
Not with the healthcare they have. Not with the healthcare they have. In order for them to die, they have to be a Supreme Court justice like Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Gator Binsburg.
Yeah.
Dude, between that and all the baby's blood they drink, they're gonna live forever. There's no way they're gonna die in office. This sucks.
I mean, look at Mitch McConnell. He's died at the mic several times, and they keep reviving him. And he's going to retire with honors and a pension. The only good thing is that his pension shouldn't be that long. He'd probably have to give him like 3-4 weeks of pension, and that's
they should really. And it looks like we are going to have another no-show here. They should really have a cognitive test for all these, because like Dianne Feinstein, she was hanging in there till she'd be dead in the grave and still holding on to her seat. All these people are just who's the. There's Grassley, Chuck Grassley. Is that?
Yeah, he's
like 140, right?
He's the elder statesman in the Senate and in Congress now.
He's dying to take that 117-year-old woman's title belt. That's what he's in for it, right?
Dude, I don't get it.
So maybe you're right. Maybe there is no hope. These fucking vampires live forever, and they're not going to die.
Well, I mean, why would you want to leave that great healthcare that you get? I mean, it's not like private citizens. Our healthcare sucks.
Right.
But that
I know why they
that
don't want to
healthcare they
leave.
get.
I'm pretty sure they get the cure to cancer.
Almost every last one of them was a millionaire. There are very few exceptions. There are very few people who are in Congress.
Oh, our guest is here.
I know that. I was waiting for GD to finish what his point, and then we were going to get there. You don't have to interrupt him. God, where's Mike Chavola when I need him?
You can interrupt him because he always interrupts everyone else. It's fair.
I do not.
Oh!
That's not true. That's not. I don't interrupt anybody.
Would you like to finish your
point? No, I don't
GD?
interrupt anybody.
Would you like to finish your point?
I did. Y'all just talked over it.
Oh. What did we talk over? Did I miss something? Was it about Hulk Hogan and Peter Thiel?
No, it was about the number of millionaires that are in the Congress now, with the exception of the freshmen, and even some of them are coming in as millionaires. That's why they're running for office.
Millionaire is nothing. Like it's unless you're a billionaire these days, you're nothing. Let's meet our guest. Would you like to meet our guest?
Sure.
Do we have a good layout for this? Because I am so tired of this dopey system that I don't know. Christy Garnett is a clinical herbalist, and there's only one herb that the white weed is my thing, and a professional biologist. In Alberta and British Columbia, she completed her Master's of Science degree in biology from George Mason University in Arlington, Virginia, USA. How about that? She reignited her interest in biology and herbal medicine and earned her clinical herbalist diploma in Wild Rose College in Calgary. She believes the only way to great health is with individual support that looks at the body from a holistic perspective. We're talking about holistic healthcare again. It's a theme for us. Good morning, Christy. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I loved listening to you guys banter.
Oh, well, there's something wrong with you then.
I'm American.
Herbs.
I'm out of my element up here. Like, I love this back and forth.
We've had a lot of holistic health people on in the last couple of weeks. This isn't, it's people book their own dates. It's just weird how same subject keeps coming up over and over again, and we move through different kinds of talks. We've talked a lot about holistic health recently. Are you basically are you an anti-vaxxer?
No. So what makes me different is I believe in choice. So you're either, a hippie and you smell bad and you don't do anything conventional, or you're the other direction and nothing holistic is real, right? So I'm right down the middle, probably because of my background. And I worked in labs, and I have a really Western scientific mind. And then I got really sick and I had to bridge the gap. And the other thing is, I believe one of the ways to get to great health is through luxury. And a lot of the holistic industry doesn't really believe in luxury.
What does holistic mean when you use the word? Because people talk about mind, body, spirit, and the one part of that which is not really provable or scientific is the spirit.
Are you gonna heal my chakras?
I do know about them. I don't know that I can heal them, but maybe you could.
Are you a believer in that stuff, the chakra healing and
So yes and no. I think you have to discern for yourself what works and what doesn't. When I had mini strokes is what happened to me in my 20s when I was in grad school. Sorry, my eye is watering, so I'm not crying yet. Anyhow,
it's the smell of being in here with us. It will do that to people.
That's right. So when I had my mini strokes, I didn't know what to do. And because I had a background in science, I really was pinning the neurologist to the wall and what about this? And what about that? And I was speaking from a biological perspective. And what happened was they sent me home and they said, don't take birth control and manage your stress. Well, at what, 25? I still don't really know what that means. And I'm past, I'm past 40 for sure.
Wow.
I'm on the edge of 50. So that set me down a different path. And when you're sick and when you're determined, you go down everything. So the chakras and energy healers and all of that. And what I want to do is bridge that gap, bridge the place between science and Eastern medicine, which ultimately sometimes says the same thing. It's just how you interpret it and how you understand it.
Now, when you were suffering from the mini strokes, did you try joining a fun putt league?
A fun putt league?
Yeah, mini golf. Because if you're having
I hate mini golf. It is the most frustrating thing. But I did try a lot of things. Trust me.
When you say mini stroke, you mean TIA, a transient ischemic attack? Is that what you're referring?
Oh, that mini stroke. Damn it.
Oh yeah. I got it. No. I got it now. I was like, mini golf.
GD, that was
thing to do when I grew up in a small town in Western Pennsylvania.
I asked because GD said when you were suffering from it, because I had TIA as well.
Oh, did you?
And I was playing a gig 3 days later. I mean, there was no suffering from it. It was something that passed pretty quickly.
Well, when I say suffering, I'm referring to like inconveniencing. It's not like a joyous event in your life. So to me, it's suffering.
Yeah, it was pretty. The drugs they gave me, I would say, it was a pretty joyous. Not the actual. I don't really remember having the stroke because they found me on the floor here. But the next day and a half in the hospital was glorious.
A friend of mine was I'm going to say suffering still.
Yeah,
suffering from mini strokes. And when he had his first one, he was with his 2-year-old daughter in the store. They were shopping, and he had his first one. And so he fell to the floor, and he had a seizure, and she called it a shakedown. He says, "Daddy had a shakedown."
I mean, I think that Matt, you're pretty lucky because, like, my experience wasn't that glorious, to be honest with you, and also, I now, knowing what I know now, I suffered from them from like the time I was 8, probably. And so I had these what are called abnormal migraines. And what was happening was I ended up going to the ER actually in Arlington, Virginia, and they gave me a migraine medication that is typical and that would help the average person, but it put me into a mini stroke. And so then I had a couple of different TIAs, and I can feel when my body wants to go back into that state.
What can you do about it? When you feel, is there a way to prevent it when you feel that you might be heading back into it?
For sure. Now, this is what I do. Now, what I would tell somebody else that I was working with might be totally different. But what I do is I definitely get more water because you become like a criminal. I don't know how you felt, but I was lying to everyone just wanting water. So you definitely need to hydrate yourself, or I do, because if you go into a hospital, they're not going to give you water because they don't want you to aspirate and die on them. But I drink a lot of water. Sometimes I drink a little bit of alcohol, like a small amount.
Rubbing or like the good stuff.
The good stuff.
Rubbing.
What is that? What did we drink in college? Purple Jesus or something? Do you remember that?
Whoa. Nope.
I went to a fun school, guys. Like
I apologize for my children. They speak when they should listen.
Sorry.
We had jungle juice at our university. Yeah.
We had both. So what I drink is I drink a small amount of alcohol, and then I have a baby aspirin, and I work with herbs. So not the herb you necessarily want to take, but I calm down my nervous system and I go into a dark room and I lay down. But I now manage it You know, I manage it differently. I used to be on blood thinners. I used to do everything, but I really believe that you have the option of doing something different. You got to take control of your own health.
Well, I would agree with that. When I had mine, they basically said it was high blood pressure and all that stuff. Put me on blood thinners and all, and they just made me a zombie. And I thought, if I'm gonna walk around like a zombie, I'm just going to start smoking weed again, put these dopey pills away. And that's exactly what I did. And I haven't had a relapse or a reoccurrence of the TIA. So I think the weed works good. Any use for cannabis in controlling these things, in your view? Is cannabis truly a medicine that some people like to claim, or did we just use that as an excuse to get high?
Well, this is where we're going to go into like the chakra area. So I believe cannabis is a spiritual herb. It's a sacred herb, just like tobacco was, alcohol was at one point. And we make it, what we make it, right? So any drug can be taken in the wrong direction. So I do believe in the powers of cannabis and what it can do for you. And now, at least here, it's legalized, so you can get it in like a kind of like a liquor store setting. I don't know what it's like down there, or depends on the state. But yeah, I believe that it can be very beneficial.
Wow.
Well, down here it's mostly a state of desperation because not everybody can get it.
Yeah,
really? Wait.
It's not every state. It's state by state. And I think there are, I last count, like 21 states that are where it's legal.
And that's when he's sober enough to count. He counts.
Well, and there's some recreational medical marijuana and recreational. I think out of those 21, only like 17 of those are recreational. The other 4 are medicinal. So yeah, it's still. And I'm not sure the current administration here is on board with making it federally legal across the board here. The healthcare system, Canada, are they supportive of herbalist remedies or preventative modalities as a part of the healthcare system? And do they support it as, a part of their, I don't know, what do you have there? Do you have like universal health care? What do you have?
Yes. So I'm a coach and a clinical herbalist. So as a coach, I have better parameters, right? Or wider parameters. So the medical system here doesn't really identify me. Like, for example, my clients can't come to me and then write it off as a medical claim.
Wow.
Because I'm not in the umbrella of the system. Now, the Canadian system, there's two reasons. The Canadian system is much more preventative than the US system. So they pay for massage if you have a health spending account. And there's a couple of parameters. I don't want to get any kind of shade that I'm not getting the system down correctly, but for an overview point, they are more preventative. So they pay for physio, or they pay for osteopathy, or different things, modalities. And then the second piece is, I was part of the Canadian Herbalist Association, a federal board, and the herbalists really couldn't agree on whether or not we wanted to lobby for recognition in the federal system.
Damn herbalists.
Herbalists.
Do I pronounce the H? I don't know.
I think it depends on if you're European or American.
Yeah, you can't get them.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd be Herb Albert and the T on the brass.
Herb Albert and the T.
GD. You're just picking the fruit up off the ground at this point, man.
Yeah.
I don't even have to pick up the fruit. I just kick it along.
I think on your website, I saw something about what I do, intuition plant knowledge, and that kind of that's confusing me. Like, well, intuition plant knowledge. because intuition could be just like just a gut feeling and all that stuff, and that's not very scientific, is it?
No, that's exactly what is so odd. This is why I make people go nuts, because so what I experienced when I was a kid, I could easily like go into a room and people would come and they would talk to me about things they shouldn't be talking to me about, and I had intuition. I
That
did
was
not.
Ron. I'm sorry about that. He does that with young girls.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I really was. I was a weird kid. I would just stare at people, and I was just weird. Probably still am. But I had intuitive knowledge. And then I just really liked being in nature, and I just can kind of feel and know what herbs match what symptom. And so that's really, I end up working with people and I just intuitively know. And then I teach them how they can know. So, for example, what you were talking about, like you just decided, why would I take these pills if I could do cannabis?
Yeah,
right?
I
And,
did.
and you're gonna say, well, that's just me, and I just that's funny or whatever. But to me, that's a gut feeling. That's intuition. Like you don't have to be scientific to do that.
Yeah, but what you just said definitely made me curious. You said I teach. Can you teach intuition? Because I'm there are people who feel intuitive, and I'm not sure that's something that it's like I don't know, uh, something you were born with, right? Or can you teach it?
I think you're born with a certain level, and then it's practice. So you have skills that I would never have. Well, maybe if if someone would teach me, but it would be a lot of work, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
you have
Yeah,
time.
there's no way you could learn to grow a mustache like that.
It will happen.
Yeah, I don't care who's
No,
teaching
I
you.
think I could.
If she lives say like 117, she'll definitely start to grow a mustache like this. It happens to women.
It's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you have it. I think that you have to decide whether or not you want to open yourself up to it. I didn't want to open myself up to it. Like when I was in DC and I was laying on in the hospital bed, like this is interesting. The woman beside me was in there for MS, and she was from New York City, and she was all about all kinds of things, and I thought she was nuts. And then but she befriended me, and I went all over the place, and I thought everyone was crazy. But eventually you open yourself up and you're like, oh, okay, well, this is why this happened. Now I see the path in front of me. So
now, when you
opening
say you
yourself
teach
up.
it though, because I don't see it as much as teaching as much as learning, helping people learn to trust it, because it seems like that we have it and it's like that little gut feeling, and then to learn to say, well, okay, I'm going to go with my gut, or that little voice in my head, I'm going to learn to trust it, as opposed to like, oh, that's crazy, there's no way that that's going to work. No.
Correct. And helping people hear the messages that they receive. So the way you guys might get it is different than the way I get it. So whoever you had on in the past, they might be talking about what they hear, or what's holistic, or the chakras, or whatever else. But I don't see things, I don't hear things. I just know something. Just like you might know something.
Kinesthetically, I mean, on a
On a
feel.
body level.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My background with this stuff, in 1994, I went to work for the Barbara Brennan School of Healing. Barbara wrote a book called Hands of Light, and she was a chakra energy healer. She started a 4-year school, had 1,200 students every year, and they treated it like a university. They were freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior years. And these people were very well-to-do to sign up for a year's tuition to learn from her, and they had all. But well, coming back to this idea of opening up, they started with what they called HSP, hypersensitive perception, and it could be visual, could be auditory, could be kinesthetic, even olfactory. But the intuition, learning to, as GD put it, trust that stuff. But I found the more they opened up to that, the more they opened up a world of Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, fairies, and angels, and everything under the sun was now not only possible but part of our reality. And now I'm living in like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, where anything goes, and
Yes.
people will believe in anything. Where do you draw the line on opening yourself up? Because an open mind is a good thing, but it's better to have an open mind with a gatekeeper to say, wait a minute, we're not letting GD in here.
That's probably a safe bet, though.
Well, so where do you draw a line? It's a question or do you draw lines on that, like on where you will allow yourself to open up to belief systems? Because you could go down to everything and anything, and I have dealt with a lot of those people. One, just before you answer the question, one of the ones who told me about the Easter Bunny being real. This was during the LA Marathon. We were out there doing a workshop, and the LA Marathon was on. I was out there watching, and I came in, and on the TV set, this girl who just was out on the street telling me about the Easter Bunny and all her psychic stuff. She was on 60 Minutes talking about being abducted by aliens. So it was just like, wait a minute, we're all over the map here. So
Is the alien shaped like bunnies?
Yeah, well, no.
Ooh, spooky.
So the idea is that once you start opening up to these things, you could just find yourself down a rabbit hole, right?
Yeah. So, well, for me, you got to remember, from my perspective, I came from a very, very scientific, let's measure, let's control, let's see what's happening. And that, and I was working in labs, that didn't give me enough answers. So I had to be willing to open up my mind, right? I had to be willing to go to the Korean acupuncturist that wanted to send me energy through my hands. I had to, because my other options were taking me down more TIAs. So that's my background. I always look at everything with a healthy level of skepticism. So that's where I go. Now, who I work with and who I choose to work with, I have to go within my scope of practice. So anytime there's any mental health issues, it gets flagged right away. And so I work with a lot of professionals. Now, that being said, it is not up to me to decide whether that person actually sees the Easter Bunny or not. There are a lot of things out there. I often wonder, the people in mental health spaces, if they're just psychic and intuitive and just took a wrong turn, right? And what are they seeing that I'm not? Because I can tell you that I can feel stuff and you can be like, she's nuts. But I present in a very professional way, right? So I'm not going to talk to you about aliens or stuff like that. But I don't care if someone talks to me about that. I just keep moving. Like, it's up to the individual to help themselves, and it's up to the practitioner to decide whether they can help that individual.
Do you believe health in general is an individualist? I think you do, according to what I read anyway. But can this individual, meaning what works for you might not work for somebody else? Because this is counterintuitive to the way modern medicine works. Modern medicine basically, these pills work for this drug works for this treatment works for this. Is it different for every human being?
I believe it is. I
Well, that's
believe
hard to manage, though, isn't it? I mean, so you have to. Maybe I'm sorry, I cut you off, but it feels like then you have to start from scratch with every new person. It's a lot of work.
Well, let's be honest. Like, I know the system. You know the system, right? You know your circulatory system. Okay, so there are medications and herbs that work for the circulatory system, but what works for you, as you know, who you are as a man, and what works for me would be different. And the other thing is, maybe you don't want to take a pill. I have a lot of people that don't want to take pills.
Right.
Like, you don't want to take pills, so you want to smoke something. Okay, so you want to or maybe not smoke. I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
But maybe you want to have a tea. Maybe so that's individual. It just means that you have the opportunity to have choice in what you say versus somebody knows more than you. It's like anything else. Yeah, I might have studied something, but you know what feels good in your body versus I don't know what feels good in your body.
I know what
How much-
feels bad.
That's right.
Really, I'm serious about that. I mean, I know what feel. I never said, well, maybe it's just you don't take time to notice. Hey, I feel really good. I mean,
That's
this
right.
but
That's right.
when something goes wrong, I definitely notice that and I'm quick to point it out. Like it's just a weird thing.
Yeah, that's a negativity bias. That's
Yeah.
you have a negativity bias. We all do. And whether or not yours is higher or lower depends on whether you train your brain to look for the positive or train your brain to look for the negative.
I'm pretty sure I have the worst case negativity virus on the planet. Thank you for diagnosing me. Now I can.
I did not diagnose you.
What do I take for my negativity? What do I do?
Well, I don't know because I think you like it. So
wow,
you've nailed it. You've nailed it. That's it.
How do you
done your job? You've done your job.
I think you're right. There is some part of it. Maybe it's trust issues. Trust with things start. If I say things are going well, I'm just jinxing it, and things are gonna go bad. I'm curious about the term in healing and wellness, and people will use words like cure. We get all these words mixed up. What do you focus on? Is it wellness from the perspective of preventative and not necessarily from a healing perspective? Taking somebody who's sick and making them better. I don't know. These words are confusing. We use wellness, we use health, good health, and we don't really define exactly what that means. We use cured.
Yeah.
What's your take on the semantics of it?
So I recently rebranded because my name was Amandine Wellness, and I started to get flagged like wellness wasn't ideal. So I'm like, okay, like 10 years ago, I felt really uncomfortable using my name. So now I'm just ChristyGarnett.com. But I took the wellness out because it wasn't narrow enough. It's so wide. And that's what you're talking about. It's so like wellness. What does that even mean?
Right.
So for me, I talk about holistic health, which includes luxury. So holistic means you look at your whole life. This is where your other guests would be your spiritual, mental, emotional health. But because I work with professionals mainly, also want to talk about your personal and professional life. So it looks really big. My background is in science, but it's as an ecologist. So it's a system, right? A whole system. And then we pair out the things that aren't going so well. So let's say you and your negativity bias and the trust issues that you have, if we can go there just a minute, what happens is this is very human to say, you know what, I'm just going to hedge my bet and I'm not going to hope for anything, right? I'm not going to, like, this guest might be a total quack. We're not going to hope that it's good. We're just going to do our best and keep rolling. But if you then take the opportunity to say, I'm going to trust my process and this is going to go well and I'm going to enjoy it, then you magnify that. So you're not just working with your brain, you're working with your whole system. So that's an example of holistic. And I would challenge you to say, what's going on with your body? Like, can you notice the bottoms of your feet? Are they tingling? What's going on with your hands? So that's what I talk when I talk about holistic. I'm talking about the whole system.
It's only one part of my body that I can really focus on. When we shouldn't bring it up here. I'm sorry.
I like it's all right. It doesn't bother me.
Oh yeah.
This show.
It's interesting. Do you think? Because I've been taking a lot of surveys lately, and first of all, they ask you to rate your health as good, fair, poor, whatever. And I was like, well, that's a subjective thing. But this idea, then they ask you of, do you have any of these conditions? And I looked through these conditions. I like, no doctor has diagnosed me with any like bipolarism or depression, anxiety, and all. I've never been like officially diagnosed with all those things, but in my mind, I've got every one of them. So I never know how to answer any of that stuff. But when they ask like, what's the condition of your health? I was like, compared to what? Compared to me when I was 21, it's lousy. Compared to other people at 65, I think not too bad. So it's kind of where you think of your state of health is subjective to where you are in life. Yes or no?
Yeah, you're doing my job here. Like, like absolutely. Like a lot of this.
Wait, that
Okay,
can't be right. Forget about what I just said. I can't be right about that.
Yeah, well, think about it. How many people do you know that have terrible labs? They're like, oh, my cholesterol's high, my this is happening, my blood pressure's this, but they feel fantastic.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Who decides that they're unhealthy?
That's
Their
right.
labs look bad, but they feel great. Their
Yeah.
labs look great, but they can't get out of bed. So this is why I'm saying you're right. It's compared to what? That's what I want people to do. I want people to challenge themselves to say, do I feel good? Do I look good? Am I okay mentally? Then I get to decide.
Well, obviously, I look good. That's not even a question. But
We all do.
yeah, feeling good. Like there are things that naturally happen.
That's the loudest thing his face has ever said while muted.
Yeah.
I'm glad that made you happy. How do you feel, Steven? Do you feel good right now?
I feel great. That was
All right.
awesome.
Good for you. But there are earlier in the week we had a lady on who was a health. She was a holistic, but her position was everything is tied to hormones, and she said if you at any age, if you don't, and not obviously she was talking about males. She said at any age, if you don't wake up rock hard in the morning, there's something wrong. And I thought, well, that's not true. People, I think. I'm not a big creationist, but I think the males of the species were evolutionarily designed to have less of a sex drive as you get older, to take it, to give women a break. We wouldn't want guys being as horny as they are 19 for a whole 117-year ride. But we set like standards and things that and I think it's to your point, I think everything is very individual. You can't just say everybody at this age should be experiencing that, and anybody at what are you saying, Ron? Oh, you saying I'm limp? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what you're saying. You've been kind of obsessed.
No, I don't.
with
I'm
it.
just not every day. I mean, waking up. That's what she said. You should be waking up every day, rock hard.
Hey, Matt, you should be thankful you're waking up every day with a pulse. That's all you need.
I have to pray every day that I don't wake up. I'm
You're not the only one. Just so you know, you're not alone.
We're not working. This just proves the power of prayer is not really any good. I'm sorry, we've derailed this conversation. But
no, I actually have a tip. So
oh,
Matt does too, but it's a very small one.
Yeah.
So I like the woman that said that about hormones. Like, we're talking about everything being in a state of absolute perfection, right? Right? You don't have any environmental issues. You don't have any. So yeah, if everything is perfect, we should be able to live to 250 years old, and you guys should be waking up all the time in the way that she described. But sometimes we need some help. And so for a lot of men, zinc is a really good, is a great supplement for your prostate. And so, yeah. And so zinc is really good. Now, obviously, everything we talk about, check it out for yourself. Go to your doctor if you need to. But the way that you can get zinc that's easy is through pumpkin seeds, a handful of pumpkin seeds a day, or oysters. But I don't know that everybody's eating oysters.
Yeah. Matt, she means to eat them. Don't put them in your ass.
Why would you?
I just wanted to make sure we clarified that.
I think my hearing aid is taking up all the space there. So
yeah, eat them.
I used to be a research specialist for a pathologist
for pumpkin seed
for the pumpkin seed industry. But the doctor who I worked very closely with, Dr. Miller, told me that every man, if he lives long enough, will get prostate cancer. It's like you should 100% of all men.
That's why you're supposed to empty your prostate at least 27 times in a month.
Oh my God.
Empty your
That
prostate. Your prostate doesn't get full. Your prostate is a gland that just kind of.
If they don't get full, why do you have to express them? Why do vets tell their dog? Why do vets tell dog owners to express? Unless it means the glands aren't expressing themselves, you have to talk to the gland and say, "Tell me what you're thinking, gland. We're going to have to get you to express yourself."
The question I was with in the medical profession, this is a common belief that all men, if they live long enough, meaning if you don't get hit by a bus, eventually you will get prostate cancer.
If we live long enough, eventually we die.
A month. And that's why you work it 27 times a month.
Work it, you say. I'm getting to a question. Is that do you accept those kind of things from the medical industry? Because it is an industry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're humans, so we can, and there's a bell curve, right? So what happens to people on average? They also say if you make it to 50, you're gonna have back pain. So is that
shit? I'm ahead of the curve.
Even though, he's way ahead of the curve.
Shit.
I think if you live an average lifestyle, if you do the average things, probably average things will happen to you. But I want everyone to be the exception. I think we have the power individually to be the exception. I believe that it's possible to, how many times do you see like on Good Morning America or wherever, it's the 105-year-old woman who's like healthy and drinking on her birthday. And it's like, what's the secret? And she's like, I have no secret. And she's crazy and cranky and all that stuff. So I think we have the power to be the exception. And that's what I want. I hope everybody takes away from this is, you can do something different.
Okay. It seems that a lot of these predictions are based on the fact that people don't do things the right way to begin with. Like they said, if they're expecting people to have backache when they're 50, it's because they're not getting in and out of chairs right. Or I don't know how many people I've helped with was the nerve in the back of your leg. That was the sciatic nerve, where people because they don't sit in the car, they slide into the car. And so they're always putting this pressure on the back of their thighs. And if you just get in and out properly or sit in and out their chair properly, those pains go away. But instead of adjusting the way we do things, we medicate it or something else. And so those things don't go away, they just get hidden. So,
that's right. And you have a predisposition. I turned 40 and the next day I couldn't walk. I had to like crawl into my house. I've had every problem in the world.
That's also drinking too. Yeah, because when I turned 20, I had to crawl into the house. When I turned 30, I had to crawl into the house. When I turned 40, it was like every time it was a follow, 10 years and a lot of drinking, I had to crawl into the house for that next birthday.
I wasn't that fun. I just walked and or sat in the car weird or whatever in that sciatic nerve. So I feel like I've been blessed with a lot of problems so that I can identify with people who have them. So
that's the other thing is that I noticed that, and my wife can correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but when we were first together, like 20 years ago, I used to play a lot of sports. And when if I came in the house limping, she'd say, "Did you hurt yourself playing basketball? Did you hurt yourself playing football? Did you hurt yourself, at work?" But now, if I have a pain, she says, "It sucks getting old." She doesn't even assume that I was active doing anything to get like this. She just says, "Sucks getting old, doesn't it?" It's like, no, I was shoveling the snow yesterday. That's what this is. Like, yeah, that, and you're old.
I'm not believing he was actually stealing hubcaps and got caught and took a beating on the way home. That's what
I don't have to steal hubcaps. Okay, I have minions to do that for me. Thank you.
Yeah, that is such an old trope too. That black people are stealing hubcaps.
I know we're eating cats and dogs. Don't keep up. We're eating the cats and we're eating the dogs. We're not stealing hubcaps anymore.
Every 80s movie, when they go into a bad neighborhood, there are black people stealing hubcaps.
And stereos.
I didn't consider his race when when I started talking about hubcaps. I just thought about his economic situation.
What? That I'm okay?
Yes.
That I'm doing all right?
Because you're doing okay because you're selling hubcaps left and right.
No, it's pot.
Oh,
I'm selling pot left and right.
Okay.
I use the hubcaps to grow the pot.
All right. If we could come back to Christy, can we direct this conversation?
Yeah, Christy, let's come back to you. What do you think of me stealing hubcaps for pot? No.
What kind of hubcaps? Yeah, no. Earlier you said you rebranded, but what I have in the link in the description now, I'm thinking I got the wrong thing, and I don't know where I got it from. It's still Almondine Wellness.
That's fine. Almondine Wellness will take you to my new website, and it's christygarnett.com. Yeah.
Okay.
I got you covered.
Yeah. So it redirects. Okay, I didn't even notice that because now I searched for a book. You don't have a book out. I was assuming you had a book out. Why don't you have a book out?
Oh, there's too much. You can't. There's so many things, but I do have free gift.
Right.
So you can find me on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, but no books. I just can't do it all. I don't know how you guys feel.
I appreciate that. I can't do it all. I can't do any of it.
I can't do anything. Right. Anyway.
It's funny that you said that though, because people keep telling me to write a book.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I keep saying no.
Are the people who are telling you that somehow tied to a publishing company? I had a meeting about this yesterday. I worked for a brief time for a publishing company that opened up a podcast business, and they were telling everybody they had to write a book, and the easiest way to write a book was start a podcast. We'll just transcribe all your conversations and then have a ghostwriter put it into a book, and it was kind of like a scam like that. So they insist on, you got to have a book. It's like an authority piece, and whatever business you're in, you need a book. Well, everybody can't have a book. We can't have 8 billion books.
Well, if I was to write a book, it would be a big book. It would be my book. It wouldn't be like blogs and then slide it in, and that's part of why I fell into my health issues is being type A. I say everyone wants a type A when they want something done, but you're not the first one to call for the party.
On the website now, in the shop area, you have a couple of products there, and it all seems to be related to skincare, right?
Yes. So I have a skincare line for your face, and I have one for your body, which is just lotions. But that was under Almondine Wellness, and then I just put that in my new website too. Yeah, it's natural products. And they can be used for different things. Like the arnica gel has arnica in it, and that is really great for bruising and sore muscles and things like that. So everything has a dual purpose.
Okay. What do you typically like when you work with people? What's the typical workflow? Do they start by? Do you do a one-on-one consultation with people?
Yes. So the first step is a 45-minute free conversation because, like I told you earlier, I got to make sure that I went back to my roots there. I got to make sure that everything can be supportive. So I don't take on anyone. I'm very selective, and they want to work with me too. So then we decide from that conversation where I can support. So is it in a 3-month program or a 6-month program? Because for me, or a VIP day, or something that's a free gift or something like that. For me, I will put my 100% in, but you have to want to work together. And I think it's a coaching situation. I think, like anything, how do you change your life? How do you change your health? How do you elevate your status?
Right.
And that means you need to have a relationship. So that's how I work. First, the free consultation, and figure that out, and then where do we go from there?
Do you get a lot of creepy old guys like Ron trying to because you're very hot, and these images of you on the website would make me think, yeah, I just want to, I won't make believe I'm sick.
Well, wait, I don't know what you're picking up on the images wise, because I think that there's just me with, like, in a garden, like, just my face.
All right. Could be that. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a horny old man.
No, I don't get it. I actually like really working with men, to be honest, because you can banter and you can be direct. But I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe we're opening up a floodgate here.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to do that way. I don't. We're not encouraging our creepy old man audience to kind of just.
Sorry for Dad. He kind of forgets where he's at sometimes. Sometimes he thinks he's back in the Vietnam era, where he can just say what he wants, So apologize about that.
Charlie.
I'm older. I can, like I said, I can hang with you guys.
All right. Very cool.
But I might not take you as a client. I don't know.
No, you know what? I don't want to get well. We've already discussed. You already established that I have the negativity virus, and I like it.
Well, bias. Not. I don't know that you have a virus, but
he is contagious though.
Bias. I thought you said negativity virus. No, I really did. I'm assuming that all. And you know what? That makes more sense to me. Yes, I'm stricken with a viral negativity. I'm going to hold on to that because that's what I thought you said. I didn't hear bias.
I think it's part of your persona too.
Yeah, and you know what? People come to expect it from me. So I don't. You want to deliver for the audience what they expect. You don't want to all of a sudden come out and be like Mr. Positivity. They'd be like, "What the hell is this? Who are you? What happened?" And I don't want to surprise people. Anyway, so I will. I don't need to change the link, right? It will automatically redirect people to ChristyGarnett.com.
It should. I mean, it would be easier if you changed the link.
All right, I'll change.
Like, I don't want to
change the link, Matt. Jeez.
I don't want to give.
How hard is it, Matt?
What was that?
How difficult is it, Matt? I said how hard is it, but I just changed my mind because I forgot you're 65.
Well, I did take I put a little horny goat weed in my coffee this morning, and all of a sudden,
look at you giving me a hard time, and you know about those types of things.
It's because he picks up those weird gas station pills all the time, and he just reads the ingredients. Is all it is.
No, yeah. When I read the ingredients on all these things, I used to be a sponsor for what was I forget the name of it now, but it was one of these supplements, and they had horny goat weed in there, and it's like, where'd that weed get its name from? It's like they saw goats eating it, and then they saw a goat just like attacking a female goat, and they said, well, that must have been the weed that made them horny. How do they figure? Because goats can't talk. I don't know if you know this.
They do talk. Just
maybe some people.
Nah.
It's just marketing. It sounds like, that's going to do something.
Yeah,
Christy, you've been an amazing guest. Thank you so much for hanging out today.
Exactly.
And not calling the police on him.
Well, it's early, and besides, the police, they get a call from Canada. What are they going to do? Like, this has got to be, we do appreciate you being here. It's strange that we don't have a book to plug on the way out here. It's ChristyGarnett.com. I will change the link.
But she does have video blogs and stuff on YouTube, so we can plug those.
Right.
That's right. And I have a free gift, and also you're welcome to anybody
I'm
who's
confused
watching, just reach out.
a gift, and when I hear the word free
I
gift,
know.
the term free gift, I always think, well, a gift is a gift. We're free. Why should we even need to put free in there?
I don't know, because
the same reason people say ATM machine.
Oh gosh,
I never
forgot
said
about that. Yeah,
I never said that.
I did.
Oh.
I used to. Yeah,
A lot of people do.
Also,
now
you hire
ATM means
people-
something different.
Yeah, you hire people and they tell you put the word free in front of it. Do this, do that, and then now I've like cut everyone out. I'm like, I'm done hiring everybody. I'm doing this on my own. That's how I got on here, because I'm doing this on my own.
Well, we appreciate you. Listen, if you're welcome back here anytime, even if you just want to come on and just talk about horny goat weed. I appreciate it, and I'm happy to have you on the program here. And I hope some people will visit the website and get involved if they want to improve their health and do it on a holistic basis. I hope they look you up. I hope that you're the first stop for anybody listening to this program who wants to get involved in making their life a little better. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Have a great day. Bye for now. Come on. Christy Garnett, folks. GD's taking my spot. Now stop taking my spot.
I didn't take your spot.
You took my spot.
I wasn't looking, so I didn't take your spot. Do you know why the show keeps ending early, like in the middle of the song?
It's because of you.
No.
It is.
No, because I'm not even touching anything. But when that's happening,
you touch something.
I'm on my phone when it happens. I'm usually saying thank you for watching.
You touch something.
I'm not touching anything that has anything to do with that. I'm touching my phone.
ChristyGarnett.com is where you want to go to learn about your horny goat weed.
I always like how Matt is like, what about this pervert up here, Ron Kane? Then he's like, can I sniff your panties?
No, well, first of all, I people know in advance that I that's what I am. But I'm a harmless old dirty old man. I'm not the pervert who wants kids on Pornhub. That's the difference.
Yeah, you're the one. You're like, let me sniff your panties. This pervert up here, but let me get a sniff.
Wait, I didn't think about that. Thank you. I'll write that down for next time.
Now you can ask what the gift is. Is
that considered preventative medicine?
What? Oh, well, there is aromatherapy.
Now, what exactly? I've heard that term so many times, but I've never actually seen it done. What do they go around with, like the bottles of here? Sniff this.
My understanding is that it's not like to go around with bottles of stuff. It's like, for example, have you ever been into a weed store and they say, "Well, what kind of weed do you want for your mood?"
I've never been to a weed store, no.
And they never said like, "Well, what do you want? You know, what kind of mood do you want to create?" And you go like, "Well, I'd like to be, I'd like to, chill and watch TV." And they say, "Okay, then you want the apnea weed or whatever." I don't know the names of weed. I don't know.
I just say the white weed.
Okay, so the oils are similar to that. It's like, well, what are you stressing out? It's like, well, yeah, then smell this. Are you, horny all the time? And they will smell this. Are you not horny all the time? Smell this. So they're like different scents that are supposed to trigger different things. Now, I don't know how it's supposed to work. My theory or my hypothesis or my corollary.
So basically, the first question you've never seen it done.
Yeah.
You have seen it done.
Yeah.
Oh. Doesn't sound like you've seen it done. How about the other stuff? The acupuncture, or acupressure.
I will never ever do acupuncture. No, thank
Why?
you.
I've seen
I don't
acupuncture
want a bunch of
done.
fucking needles all up in my skin.
I've seen acupuncture done. I used to practice shiatsu.
That's disgusting.
Shiatsu?
I don't care how
you wash it. If you wash it first.
Bukkake a little.
Yeah.
It sounds like bukkake, but someone's shitting on you instead.
Yeah. Well, if you wash your shiatsu first, it's fine.
It's
I've
bukkake in reverse or something. No.
I've been trained in Reiki and a few of the other modalities. My preference was always massage and.
So you're a fruitcake. That's what you're saying. You're a fruitcake.
What?
You want to go join a cult? That's what
I
you're
didn't
saying.
say any of that stuff.
You
No.
did. You said I've been
No.
trained in Reiki.
Right.
That's basically signing the fruitcake.
I was also trained on how to break down an engine when I was 8 years old. I didn't become a mechanic.
Whoa, you know how to break down? Okay, I don't need to hear about you cutting people apart. That's disgusting. You disgusting.
Well,
You
look
just,
at
that's
Ron.
gross.
He's like ordering from Pornhub. I'll
I
take
know.
three little girls. Look, and he's smiling when he's
What's happening?
So just because I was trained in something doesn't mean that's what I am. Just means I have.
It means you signed up for it, and then therefore you are a fruit.
I didn't sign up to learn to break down an engine. My uncle was babysitting me and didn't know what to do with me, so
I'm
he says,
talking about
"Here,"
the Reiki.
and he
You
showed me,
signed up
and
for,
it was working.
You signed up for fruitcake and Reiki. What fruits actually go into a fruitcake? You know,
Dried fruits.
Of course, you know.
Dried jellied fruits.
It takes one to know one.
No, I just know I don't like them, and my mother used to try to say, "Here, no, how do you know you don't like it unless you try it?"
I don't know.
And so my mother had me try fruitcake, and I didn't like it because my mother
Anybody
used
in
to
the
love
chat room
fruitcake.
want to weigh in on this? Is GD a fruitcake? Yes.
Well,
or
yeah,
no?
he just said he got trained. How's his butt feel?
Right.
Fine.
Ron, you know about
It's
fruitcake.
been a while, so
it's been a while.
I've had time to recover.
Let's ask our resident fruitcake expert, Ron Kane.
Yeah, then now we just have to wait for Matt's response. Yeah, he used to eat fruitcakes every day. Don't deflect to me, Matt. It's all right.
Whipped cream.
Matt, you're an older dude that's very open to things, and we're happy to see that. A man your age being open to bears and otters
Not open.
and sniffing panties.
Sniffing panties. Now that's
that pastime never gets old. That never gets old. You're never too old to do that. I'm sorry.
Really?
That is true.
Never.
I'm not open to that. I think somehow you're going to inhale something you should not be inhaling.
And that's how COVID gets
the microbes, the things. They're going to get caught, and then you'll be walking around all day sneezing.
No, that's why God invented the Navage.
Oh, so now you're like a holy roller. You're a holy
diver.
A holy rolling fruitcake.
Yeah, every time I use this Navage, I'm just getting chunks of blood out of it.
He's a shiatsu bukkake holy rolling fruitcake. I think I got it.
I think we've crashed this into some weird wall.
But hey, you can see some of this great comedy on January 24th at Governor's Comedy Club. Doors at
Justin
6.
Trudeau
Show
will
at
be
8.
there. Justin Trudeau will be there. He won the free tickets by sharing the poster.
That's why he resigned, is because he couldn't get the day off to come to the show, so he figured he'd just quit.
You're being redundant.
What's the phrase that pays? There we go.
Phrase that pays. Lays, Frito Lays. The phrase that pays.
The phrase that pays. Turn on your radio.
Okay.
It's not that time.
GD's gonna touch something and ruin it all. What? Wait, any second now he's gonna touch something. Purposely not touch something. Try to make Steven ran away before PD got a chance.
What you wanna do, baby? It's on you, baby. Walk around nappy. What you wanna do, baby? It's on you, baby. Walk around nappy.
See that? You touched something and broke it. I saw you. At the minute you put your finger down to touch something, you broke it. Now I have to start.